Right, so this isn't going to be anything special, just a quick little video to show you how I did what I did. So originally I imported all of these into Premiere Pro, all of the ads, and I labeled them all. All of them have different labels. The blue ones are for the loneliness motif, which is Lily being alone. The purple ones are Blaine, her relationship with Blaine, obviously. The red ones are Christmas, the orange ones are Halloween, and then the green ones are ads that focus on her relationship with Mike and developing that. Now, I took some creative liberties, especially here in the beginning. This one and this one are actually two separate ads, but I thought they fit very well together, and I didn't really have another place for the Thanksgiving one. So instead, I thought it would fit really well to, demonstrate the whole loneliness motif there. And this is obviously her mum trying to set her up with people, but it's not working. This is also another ad that I've spliced. It's called, I think, Was Lily Catfished? But it includes Larry pretending to be Blaine, which is weird because I think technically, according to game lore, Larry is her uncle, but I'm not sure. And also, Blaine is an actual person that she dates later on, so it was a bit weird. So instead, I spliced some bits from that because she goes on a date with Larry, and then on a date with this guy whose name I do not know, and then on a date with Luke, but he runs out on her in the original ad. But that didn't quite suit my purposes, so I spliced this bit of the date here when they were talking about him, and then hang on just for a second, because this bit of the date is right before Luke runs out on Lily, but instead I decided, you know what, might as well keep it here, keep it nice, and just have him stay there, and we'll splice it so that she calls for the waiter, and then they go home and bake some cookies. That sounds about right, doesn't it? So, after that, of course, we have the Lily sadness, loneliness bullshit motif, and then there's this one where it's called Whose Butt Is It Anyway? And we don't know. We don't technically know whose butt this is, but I decided, you know what? Sure, that's Blaine's butt. She meets him in the gym, then they go home, and then they do the sexy times. And then the sexy times only last 4 seconds, so she feels a bit, unsatisfied. This was actually an idea by a friend of mine to, because I wasn't quite sure where to put the washing machine ones. And a friend of mine went, just put it after the 4 second sex. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? That makes a lot of sense. So we did that. And then the painting one, which I wasn't quite sure where to place it. This is kind of just here, so that, sorry, I do still have my coffee, so if I don't. This is here because I didn't really have any other place for it. And also I thought it felt the vibe of the wedding as well, with the background and the lighting, which really blends well with the wedding. And also, while this is a dick move by Blaine, there is no actual anger in Lily's face at any point. This could just be the two of them, having fun, doing a bit of a flirty, and then there's the wedding. And originally, the wedding ends with Lily running off with Luke, but we can't do that because she still needs to break up with Blaine. So instead, I did a bit of magical editing magic, and I pretended she fantasized about running away with him due to the white flashes. I'm not sure if they're gonna show. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that is actually a good little editing mistake there. You can see the Lily's Garden logo. We're gonna fix that in a bit. So yeah, that then I reversed an earlier shot of her looking sad, and then of course they hang out with Luke and his girlfriend, whose name I've sadly forgotten. And this is just the bit I like to call Blaine's a dickhead. Oh right, she flashbacks to it's. I'm not sure if this is a flashback or whatever. I wasn't quite sure where to put this, and she looked so piningly at Luke here that I was like, you know what? Maybe she's thinking about this one where both of them were interested in her, and now neither of them really are, and is, again, the sadness motif. I feel I think this is labeled as the lonely. Yeah, it's the loneliness motif again. So that's why I decided to do that. And then this obviously, yeah, it's the whole Christmassy bullshit and shitty boyfriend, yada yada. Right, then we get to this bit where she sees him. This is meant to be Luke's girlfriend, by the way, but they got the hair wrong. But they are in an affair, and Lily is obviously like, oh no, I'm so sad. So she you know, does the whole pregnancy thing, the bullshit. She breaks up with him, and then she, has a good time on her own. But her mum is cheating on her with the boyfriend. Wow, super spooky. Obviously, all of this makes sense. I think in consequence, all that. Sequence is the word you were looking for. In sequence, all of that, I guess, kind of makes sense. This one was tricky, simply because Lily had to be alone, but Blaine had to already be dating Holly, and Luke had to not have broken up with his girlfriend yet. And the only way I could do that was by placing this one, the one where he finds out about the affair, after New Year's. And this feels like a bit of a stretch, like a long time in between, but that's why I made this little insert, where Lily remembers them having an affair, and so I'm sort of slyly insinuating that maybe Lily had something to do with the suspicions to get Luke to hire a private investigator. Then, of course, they break up, and the whole date, and then this. The reason I put these after each other is because this comes right after the date, and she's wearing the same outfit as in the ice skating, so I figured that would be a nice matchup. And this is still winter, so that makes sense. And then this is just, it looks to be like early spring party, so that makes sense. And then, obviously, she tells Luke she's pregnant with him. Now, the girl, obviously, is Luke's child from his other relationship, which he was never shown in any of them before. So I'm going to take the liberty and pretend that she's actually Lily and Luke's baby until we have anything that destroys that mirage. So, we're going to stick with this. And then, obviously, Blaine here, he's already alone. He's alone. There's no one with him right now. The reason for that is, of course, that he had a relationship with whomever the fuck. So, I'm not sure if Holly would break up with him over it, but to be fair, Holly then, in the next Christmassy ones, does go wild for sexy Santa Larry. The only discrepancy is the fucking Blaine is still invited to Christmas. Consistently, not just in this one. He's here as well. I mean, he's getting yelled at, but that's because he electrocuted the cat. He is still invited to Christmas. And then, of course, in the far, far future, it's the mum getting stuck in the chicken Tupperware. So yeah, that's my process. It was really just sort of, and these, obviously, some of these are clearly bullshit, because she just disappears here, and there's not two Blaines here, and also, this one has a video game mechanic in it, which is very annoying. Yeah, that didn't quite land well with me. And then there's, what was this? Oh, right, this one! I love this one! And I really want to use it, but I don't have any consequence for it yet, and I feel like we might have to wait until next Halloween for there to be any consequence. So, yeah. I do really like this one. I do want to include this one at some point, because of the drama. But yeah, no, thank you all for watching this mess, I guess. Yeah. I'm actually very positively surprised that all of you are so invested in this collection of non-canon ads. They're not canon. They're not canon to the game at all. The people who made the game have said, "Oh no, actually, the ads are not at all our story. That we just let the ad company kind of do whatever the fuck they want, and it seems to be working. So no complaints. So there's that, I guess." So yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this as long as the company keeps releasing ads. I will be consistently releasing updates. And obviously, again, the way I release those updates is entirely up to you. There's a poll right there in the thingy. So please, nearly died there. So please have a little click on that. Let me know what you prefer. Update-wise, and I guess I'll see you next time. Yeah, whenever that may be. So, it's still crazy that this blew up. Check out my Patreon, I guess, if you're here anyway. And just hit the subscribe button. Yeah.